On June 9th, 2026, Anthropic launched what they called the most powerful AI model ever released to the public. By June 12th, it was gone, not taken down by a competitor, not pulled for a technical failure. Taken down by the US government, with 90 minutes notice. But here's the part nobody is talking about. Anthropic had already charged its subscribers for access to a model that was about to disappear. And when the ban hit, those subscribers only got 4 to 5 days of the 13-day free trial they were promised. The refund deadline? It quietly passed. For many people, the money is gone. This is the full story of Fable 5. The AI that cracked NSA systems got banned overnight and left its paying customers holding the bill. Anthropic didn't just release another model update. They released a public version of Mythos, their most powerful AI, which until that point had been locked behind a classified program called Project Glasswing, available only to about 200 hand-picked organizations, including Amazon, Apple, Google, Microsoft, and the NSA itself. Mythos was so capable that Anthropic initially said it was too dangerous to release publicly. Let that sink in. An AI company looked at their own model and said, "This is too powerful for the world." And yet, on June 9th, they released it anyway. They wrapped Mythos in a layer of safety filters and called the result Fable 5. The idea was, the underlying intelligence stays the same, but dangerous requests, like anything related to cybersecurity, biology, or weapons, get intercepted and redirected to a safer model. Anthropic had spent over 1,000 hours red teaming these filters before launch. They were confident. Developers loved it. Fable 5 could run complex coding tasks autonomously for up to 20 minutes, catch its own errors, and deliver working software on the first attempt. It was, by every measure, the best AI model ever made available to the public. And Anthropic offered it free to Pro, Max, Team, and Enterprise subscribers from June 9th through June 22nd. 13 days to try the most capable AI on the planet at no extra cost. That was the promise. In February 2026, the Pentagon formally designated Anthropic a supply chain risk, the label typically reserved for foreign adversaries like Huawei, prohibiting government contractors from using Anthropic technology for US military work. The reason? Anthropic refused to let the Pentagon use its AI for mass domestic surveillance and fully autonomous weapons. President Trump himself posted on Truth Social, calling Anthropic's team left-wing nutjobs for trying to strong-arm the Pentagon. But here's what the Pentagon didn't tell you while they were suing Anthropic in open court. The NSA, the Pentagon's own spy agency, was simultaneously running Anthropic's most dangerous model, Mythos Preview, inside Fort Meade. While the Department of Defense was arguing in court that Anthropic's tools threaten national security, the NSA was using those exact tools to scan for exploitable vulnerabilities. Axios reported in April that the NSA was among roughly 40 organizations with Mythos access, and Anthropic only publicly named 12 of them. The UK's AI Security Institute confirmed they had access too. One source said the model was being used more widely within the department than publicly acknowledged. And it gets stranger. Just days before the Fable 5 launch, Dario Amodei met with White House Chief of Staff Susie Wiles and Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent. The White House called it productive. The OMB's federal CIO told cabinet officials they were working with Anthropic on guardrails for broader federal deployment. So let me ask you, if Anthropic is such a national security threat that they need to be banned from military contracts, why is the NSA their most eager customer? Why are White House officials meeting with their CEO to expand access? And why did all of this happen while Anthropic engineers were reportedly embedded on-site at government facilities? The answer is simple. The government doesn't think Anthropic is dangerous. They think Anthropic's technology is too valuable to share. And Fable 5 threatened to democratize access to exactly the capabilities they wanted to keep locked behind the Pentagon's walls. On Friday, June 12th at 5:21 p.m. Eastern Time, Anthropic received a letter from the U.S. Commerce Department, an export control directive. The government claimed it had found a jailbreak, a way to bypass Fable 5's safety guardrails. Anthropic was ordered to suspend all access to Fable 5 and Mythos 5 for any foreign national anywhere in the world, including their own non-citizen employees. Anthropic's response was immediate and furious. They called the finding a narrow potential jailbreak that revealed only minor vulnerabilities that other publicly available models, including OpenAI's GPT 5.5, could find without any bypass at all. They said if this standard was applied across the industry, it would essentially halt all new model deployments for all frontier model providers. But here's the detail that lands like a bomb. According to the Wall Street Journal, the research that triggered the ban came from Amazon. Amazon's own cybersecurity team tested Fable 5, found what they considered security weaknesses, and CEO Andy Jassy personally shared those findings with senior Trump administration officials, including Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent. Let that sink in. Amazon is one of Anthropic's largest investors. They've poured billions into the company. But Amazon is also a direct competitor in AI through Amazon Bedrock, which hosts multiple models, including its own. Amazon's researchers found a jailbreak, reported it to the government, and within days, Anthropic's flagship model was banned worldwide. Katie Musouris, CEO of Luta Security and one of the most respected cybersecurity voices in the industry, saw Amazon's research paper. Her verdict? Quote, "It's not a jailbreak. It was defense-oriented prompting, capabilities defenders need." She called the ban an own goal against national defense. White House AI advisor David Sachs claimed the government acted reluctantly only after Anthropic CEO Dario Amodei refused to fix the jailbreak or dedeploy the model. But here's what Sachs didn't mention. The information reported that the administration was unlikely to force similar restrictions on other AI firms, just Anthropic. So ask yourself, if this was genuinely about national security, why only Anthropic? If GPT 5.5 can do the same things without any jailbreak at all, why isn't OpenAI banned? And if Amazon, your biggest investor and your biggest competitor, is the one feeding evidence to the government, what does that say about who actually controls the future of AI? But here's where the story stops being about governments and starts being about you. Anthropic promised subscribers 13 days of free Fable 5 access, June 9th through June 22nd. They launched on a Tuesday. By Friday at 5:21 p.m., the ban hit. Subscribers who upgraded their plans specifically for Fable 5 got roughly 4 days of the promised window. Some got less. And then the billing nightmares began. One user on GitHub detailed a cascading failure. They upgraded to max 20x for Fable 5 access. When Fable was removed, they accepted a refund. Anthropic's system didn't revert them to their previous max 5x plan. It downgraded them all the way to free. Support told them to resubscribe. The system charged them $106.60 without recognizing their existing entitlement. They were now paying for the same plan twice. Another Reddit user reported getting a $100 refund, but instead of keeping their original max 5x subscription active, Anthropic downgraded them to free tier entirely. Forbes reported that Anthropic sent emails offering prorated refunds, but only to customers who purchased or upgraded between June 9th and June 14th. The catch? You had to cancel by June 20th, and multiple customers who followed those instructions say they never received their money back. EU customers had better luck citing the 14-day cooling-off period, but American subscribers were left fighting an AI chatbot for support. This isn't a new problem. Scroll through Anthropic's Trustpilot reviews from the past 6 months, and a pattern emerges: double charges, support bots that promise refunds then deny them, accounts deleted without explanation. One user wrote, quote, "There is not one human being available for customer service." Another called it a paid demo that punishes you for having a long, detailed conversation. Anthropic has not confirmed whether it will extend or reset the 13-day trial period. They haven't explained why their refund system is downgrading paid users to free. And they haven't addressed whether the thousands of people who upgraded specifically for Fable 5 will get the full trial they were promised. But the real question isn't whether Anthropic messed up their customer service, and it's not whether the government overreached on a technicality. The real question is, what happens when the most powerful technology ever built is controlled by a handful of companies, regulated by agencies that can't agree on whether it's a threat or a weapon, and sold to customers who have no recourse when the product vanishes overnight? Today it was Anthropic. Tomorrow it could be OpenAI, or Google, or whatever model you're building your entire business on. And when that letter arrives at 5:21 p.m. on a Friday afternoon, with no warning, no transparency, and no appeal, you'll have about as much recourse as those subscribers who got 4 days of a 13-day promise. The AI revolution isn't being stopped by safety, it's being captured by power, and we're all just tenants in a world where the keys can change hands at any moment.